Okay, I think this is being recorded. Okay. Okay, so thank you everybody for attending this. I don't believe that there are a lot of participants, so I will just run through pretty quickly on the first part of this training. So with all trainings, usually I start off with a quick introduction to the company and what we do of our products. This will not take too long because I think this may not be the first time that everyone I think most people are familiar with Euromonitor. So let me pull up the slides and go ahead with it. Let's see now.
Excuse me คุณนุ่นคะไว้ต้องรบกวนแชร์โคโฮสให้กับคุณโมเสสนิดนึงได้ไหมคะ I will let them share. You will be the co-host, so you can share your screen.
Yes, I will. I will share my screen. Don't worry.
Okay, already done. แชร์เรียบร้อยแล้วค่ะ
ขอบคุณค่ะ They already share your co-host. You can show your screen.
Let me know when you can
yeah.
see my screen.
Yeah, it's already I see.
Okay, let me put it into, of course, from the beginning, slideshow. Okay. Let me know if everything is okay and smooth, because we are all online and I am not very familiar with Zoom because the office uses Microsoft Teams, so sometimes it can be. I can just be a bit laggy and slow at times. So please let me know, okay? And also for the purpose of latency, I will also turn off my camera. But welcome to the call. For those who are not familiar with me, my name is Moses. I'm the account manager for Thammasat University. I am over here in the Singapore office. Maybe you guys might be able to see. Maybe. But and of course, this is the office over here in Suntec City in Singapore. Maybe some of you might be familiar. And I'm the account manager that handles both academic and government accounts in the Southeast Asia region. All right. So let me get ahead, and I'm gonna actually turn off the camera just so that everything will be a little smoother. Okay, let me try to figure this. One second. Yes. Okay. I believe everyone can see my screen. I mean the orange.
Yeah, we can see your screen, the orange.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so let's get on with this. Like I said, okay, now good. Not so familiar with Zoom. Okay, so what is Euromonitor International or EMI? All right, I'm gonna always keep using the acronyms EMI because we love acronyms over here. So EMI is we have to say we would like to think we're one of the world's leading provider for global business intelligence. We have been around for quite some time. The company was actually started in the 1970s actually. So it is a pretty trusted business intelligence source, and primarily what we do is we do a lot of our research on certain industries. All right, not everything, but industries in terms of healthcare, in terms of food, in terms of ingredients, that is what we pride ourselves on. All right. So of course, on the right side, you're going to see some of the things that we do. They are obviously not. We're obviously not limited to these 5 points that you see. Continuing on, all right, we have right around a little over 1,000 on-the-ground researchers in 100 countries. So we actually do have a pretty good complete view of the global marketplace, of course, in the industries that we do, and also in economies and consumer. On the very extreme right, you're going to see our expertise, all right? Of course, consumer trends and lifestyles is really one of our strong points, especially in beauty and personal care. That's really where we really shine. And that's why we have companies, customers like big companies like L'Oreal, Unilever, Kao. I think some of you might be familiar, the Japanese company that specializes in facial products and whatnot. So yeah, this is what we do in our research. All right. In terms of our solutions, what you see on your screen on the extreme left is Passport, and this is of course the platform with which Thammasat University subscribes to. In the middle, there is another platform. It is called VIA. I'll talk a little bit about that. And of course, on the right side, it is consulting. I will touch on all of them except for Passport very, very briefly. So what you see on your screen will be how it looks like on...
it's like a world map or something.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, international network, yeah.
16 offices. So yeah, like a network or like a web. Okay. Just to illustrate the point that we do have quite a bit of the world covered. Not everything, of course, but we are well connected. Okay. Now, when we talk about 100 countries, these are the 100 countries that we have our researchers on the ground, doing all kinds of work for us, in doing store checks, but also in doing consulting work wherever the projects are based on. Okay, and as far as our expertise, this is most of the expertise that you can see. Of course, we have our products are constantly being upgraded in some sense, and of course, there are also new modules and new products that are being launched. But what you see on your screen is really the bulk of it. I'm not going to go through all of this because in the demo, in the presentation that's coming up, I will go through a little bit in a little bit more detail. Okay, so Passport, what is it used for? It's really the intelligence database that we use. It houses all the information, all the data sets, all the reports, and also the what do you call it? The interactive database that we have, which I will touch on in a bit. So this is Passport. All right, I'm not going to talk too much about it. In terms of consulting, I'm pretty sure most of you on this training will know what consulting is. We do a lot of consulting work, okay? In terms of consulting work for our corporate clients, but also in the government space. Okay, so for example, even in academics, we have done consulting work before. So in terms of our corporate clients, we do a lot of work. So for example, in what we call claims, all right? So claims, the claims can be, if you're at the airport or you're in Bangkok or somewhere, you can see claims from a certain company, like the number one the number one hair care shampoo used in Thailand or something. So these are claims, okay? So if you are, a real big company, our corporate clients, they like to do claims, but these claims, you cannot simply just advertise and say you're number one in something, it needs to be verified. All right. So we do claims. So this is part of what we call consulting. In the government space, we do a lot of work with trade and export entities where we help different countries. So, for example, like the Philippines. Okay, the Philippines is of course known for bananas. They're also kind of well known for coconuts, but Vietnam is actually has I believe overtaken the Philippines in terms of the exports of coconuts. So we are actually discussing on a project with the Filipino government on how we can actually help them to find new niche markets to export their coconuts to. So that's consulting. Okay. And as for VIA is also another platform that we have. It's a platform that houses a lot of information, millions and millions of information on SKUs. So SKUs as in SKU numbers, right? So a product that is sold has to have a unique SKU number. So what VIA does is, and what the company does is, we actually extract and organize. This is e-commerce, okay? Around 1,500 online retailers in 41 countries, and the data is actually updated daily, weekly, monthly on all these SKUs. So these SKUs, our corporate clients use it to track both how their products and their competitors' products are sold in the online marketplace, and of course, what VIA can be used for is you can use it for new product launches, but also to track what the competition is doing and how their goods or how their products are being sold online, right, via e-commerce platforms in 41 countries. So this is VIA itself. So of course, the platform itself, when you sort out all these SKUs, because there's so many SKUs, you can also track them by attributes. For example, like gluten-free, low sugar, pesticide-free. This all works in VIA. Okay. So there is that in terms of the presentation. Let me unshare and let me go into Passport. I assume that we don't have any questions. This is actually pretty straightforward. So let me share Passport. Okay, let me know when you can see Passport.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, now Passport. So this is the main landing page of Passport. What you see on your subscription looks no different from what I see on my screen. Of course, this is my my demo account. So I do have more data sets than what Thammasat University subscribes to. Okay, but I'm using this my demo account today because my presentation today is based on the two queries that has actually come to me from Thammasat University via our agents, New Knowledge. All right, so Chachai, I think in the past maybe few weeks or something, or also just a few days ago, he has actually forwarded me two inquiries from I believe it's Thammasat University, and these two questions, actually, these two queries can actually be answered via the industrial module that Thammasat University is actually considering. Because as most of you should know, Tamasat University is we're in the midst of discussing the renewal for next year, and I believe the university is considering to invest in new modules. So I have actually recommended nutrition and industrial, but I believe the industrial module, which would be under services or B2B, yeah, this one right here, will be a better module to invest in because the data sets are very, very robust. It's a lot, and this also this actually circles back to the two inquiries that are received. They actually can be answered, right, using the industrial module. Hence, I'm using my demo account because if I'm using Thammasat's Thammasat University's account, I won't be able to show. Okay, so back to the main landing page of Passport. This is the main landing page of Passport itself. All right. So as usual, okay, Passport is divided into 3 sections. I believe this. I mean, I've said this many times. You have statistics, which are all the raw data and everything. You have dashboards, which I'll touch on. And of course, you have your analysis, which are your reports, be it consumer profile reports, country reports, industry reports. Okay, so it's 3 parts of Passport. Now, if you are a new user, of course, a very good place to look into will be the Help Center. All right, if you click on it, a new browser window will open up, and the Help Center is a really good place to help you either get started or look for answers. For example, I'm going to start with the glossary of terms. Okay, so the Help Center has the glossary of terms, definitions, FAQs. You have the update scheduler, and of course our methodologies. I will talk about the help guide and videos, just a bit, and also what's new. Right. So first things first, you have the glossary of terms. A lot of times, I do get a lot of questions on certain terms. All right. One of the most common questions that I always get is this: off and on trade, because not everyone understands what off trade and on trade means. So if you are looking for a certain term, the glossary of terms could be the place where you come and find answers. All right. It is all in the Help Center. It is quite straightforward. It is all arranged alphabetically, except for, of course, the very top 2. Everything is arranged alphabetically from A all the way down to Y. There's no Z. All right, year-on-year growth. What do we mean by year-on-year growth? So off-trade and on-trade, this is what we mean. All right, so off-trade is sales through retail outlets, typically used in reference in the sales of drinks. All right, that's off-trade. And so the on-trade, it means sales through bars, restaurants, cafes, etc. This is a really common question that I always get from our users all across the region. So the glossary of terms is where you come and find answers. Okay, next, we can look at definitions. Now, the definitions are also very important because, definitions are, if you're doing research, okay, I will jump into industrial, because the industrial module is why I'm going to be doing a little bit more of a feature today, is of course, so for example, okay, what do we mean by cattle, right? So our definition of cattle means that this category includes raising of cattle and buffaloes. It also includes breeding of cattle and buffaloes, as well as production of raw milk and fur skins of cattle and buffaloes. So there you go. This is what we mean by cattle, right? So everything is, of course, on the left over here, you have all the different modules, right, or industries. again, alphabetically sorted. Alcoholic drinks will be the first that you see, and the list goes down, right? And on the right side, where the category definitions are, again, everything is arranged alphabetically, as so it should be. And so this is where this is what this is our definition, okay? Maybe industrial will be a bit dry. We can look at, let's see, consumer health. This would be, right. So in consumer health, what do we mean by OTC? All right. It is an aggregation of adult mouth care, hygienics, cough, cold, and allergy, hay fever remedies, and so on and so forth. So this is all explained, right? It's quite, I mean, what I've said is quite self-explanatory. So these are all the definitions. When you are doing certain research, you will have to look at the definitions because, well, sometimes different people have different definitions to certain things. So this is where you look it up to find the definitions, okay? Next, I'm going to jump to FAQs, your frequently asked questions. Again, the industries are all on the left, from A down to Z. Of course, first will be alcoholic drinks, followed by apparel and footwear, right? So these are all the very, the frequently asked questions that the team has put together. So, for example, if you have some kind of a question in apparel and footwear, you may want to come and look at some of these over here. So, for example, do you include duty-free sales within overall apparel and footwear? Right. So, from us, our answer is no. Sales generated in the duty-free channel are excluded from all Euromonitor International fast-moving commodity goods research coverage, including apparel and footwear. There you go. All right. So all these frequently asked questions are all compiled, put together under the FAQ section. So if you do have a question, may not be a bad place to come and look. Okay. In terms of methodologies, it's over here. It's a general explanation on what we do. If you have more a more specific question as to how we build our methodologies, of course, get in touch with me, and I'll get our relevant people to explain. And of course, we have the update scheduler, whereby we let you know when the major updates are coming. Okay. One thing I like to let everyone to know is that our data from statistics, they're all updated every quarter, all right? Especially the future forecast. I'll touch on that in a bit. Okay, so these are the 5 things that can be pretty helpful. Let me get back to the help center. And of course, if you are a new user, you can look at the help guide and videos. There are step-by-step videos on how to use Passport. Explanations on, so for example, maybe let me click on the price tracker. There you go. All right, our price trackers, all right? So 6-minute, 31-second videos that explains the price trackers and how you can use them. So of course, you have all these short videos over here from working with stats, the group sum function to the data export tool, and so on and so forth, all right? There is actually also the guide. This can be printed out, but I don't think anyone would be very interested in this. This guide is actually, I believe, is really pretty long. It's a very detailed guide on Passport itself. Okay, so that's the help guide and videos. Another thing that that's actually fairly new, that's been put in, is the what's new section over here. This will show on the relevant upgrades that we've done to Passport. All right. And there are even kind of like all these short, they're not videos, but illustrations, right? On how you can use Passport. And we obviously also explain about the changes that we have done. So if you're interested, of course, if you're looking up, you can come and check this out. I don't think a lot of people would really come into this part, but we do inform our customers on what are the new releases, what we've done, right? From January to July 2025 to December 2025, we really try to let our customers know what are the most relevant and new things about Passport that we're always trying to improve on. All right. So this is the Help Center, which is on the upper right hand corner of the main landing page. Everywhere you go, you're going to see the help. You will see the Help Center. All right. So that's that. As a new user, click on the Help Center. It's quite useful. All right. So as far as the modules are concerned, right? The main landing page of Passport is really quite simple. Of course, what we do is how you do a search is keywords. I always say using keywords is really, really good. That's the way to go about doing a search. But before I go into it, of course, in Passport itself, you have industrials, you have, of course, channels. There are quite a few new things in channels. Of course, we have companies. This I can maybe show off a little bit. I'll touch on that in a bit. We have even new modules under products called innovation and sustainability. These are pretty pricey, and only one or two of our academic accounts subscribe to sustainability, not innovation for sure. Innovation is really geared towards commercial companies, but of course, consumers and economies. Okay, so for Thammasat University, the university subscribes to a lot of most of these modules. All right, so of course, appliances and electronics, you have consumer appliances, consumer electronics, toys and games. Under drinks, you have hot drinks, soft drinks, and alcoholic drinks. Food and nutrition, you have cooking ingredients and meals, dairy products and alternatives, fresh food, health and wellness, nutrition, snacks, staple foods. Nutrition is the module that Thammasat University does not subscribe to. I think it is in consideration, but I would recommend industrial over nutrition, and I will explain that in a bit. And of course, under health and beauty, you have BPC, consumer health, eyewear, tissue and hygiene. Thammasat University has all of these. Home products also. Luxury fashion, I believe Thammasat University also has. Under nicotine and cannabis, you have tobacco for sure. Cannabis, no. All right, up to date. To my knowledge, none of our academic institutions in the region have subscribed to cannabis, but we do have a cannabis module. Of course, services other than sports and maybe automotive and mobility, Thammasat University has all the other modules. And of course, ingredients and packaging you have. Industrial is the module that I'm going to be showcasing today. Okay, under channels, digital shopper and retail, you have it. I don't think there's loyalty in e-commerce. These are new modules that I will not really talk about. They're quite new, and they're geared towards more so for our commercial customers. Of course, there's companies. I will touch on companies now in a bit. We do have a companies tab over here, as you can see. Okay, I believe Thammasat University has access to this part over here, the company growth outlook. I rarely talk about this part over here because the companies tab, in effect, we only track. I mean, the companies that are featured over here, they are the leading players in certain industries. So, for example, I mean, we're really talking about the leading companies. So, for example, you can see. Let me enlarge this. Yeah. Okay. So as you can see, on the left over here, these are all the leading companies. So, for example, this is General Mills. There's Mars Incorporated, LV, Louis Vuitton, and of course there's Unilever Group, Unicharm. These are all the very big players, and we feature them. So this is a bit more niche. I mean, this company's tab over here, this part over here. Not saying that it is not useful. It is, but when I do demo trainings, I don't really quite. I usually do not go over companies too much, simply because it is quite niche. All right, but it is there. All right, and I believe Thammasat University has this part over here. All right, and moving on, of course, we have products, innovation, and sustainability. These are once again our newer modules. They are pretty pricey, and they're geared towards our commercial customers. All right. Now, in terms of consumers and economies, Thammasat University subscribes to, and you have under consumers, you have households, income expenditure, lifestyles, and population. Under economies, you have business dynamics, cities, commodities, economy, finance, and trade. Okay, so the main landing page. Okay, let me just get back to the main landing page. All right. So in terms of doing the search, like I said, keyword searches are the best. I am going to be using the two examples or the two queries that came through from Thammasat. All right. So for example, I think one of the first one that came through, maybe it was a few weeks ago or maybe a month or two ago, was on auto vaccines. Actually, I looked it up a little bit. It's actually auto vaccines. It's actually vaccine. So one can do a search. If you just type in vaccine, and you can even type in Thailand. Right? You'll be able to see some hits like market size, right? And so this would be one way of doing the search. Let me try to refresh Passport again. Okay, there you go. Okay, of course, another way that we can do is by the full tree. But what I wanted to show was in every module. So for example, okay, industrial, if you were to click on it, it's going to take you right to the industrial landing page. There you go. All right. So if you were to click on the individual, the modules, you're going to be taken to the main landing page of the module itself. So you can see over here, all right, everything and anything that has to do with the industrial module is over here. So of course, we can look at the hard stats. Okay, it's on the left over here. There is you can find the grouping of all the data points. All right, but also in the middle you can look at the latest reports. All right, in the industrial module. So one of the latest reports will be this: accelerating electric vehicle adoption strategies for affordability and value. Okay, and there's even more stuff on the right side. And on the bottom, of course, you have your dashboards. Okay. So back to the two queries that came through from Thammasat. It was about vaccines. Okay, so vaccines, I believe there is, we do have information on vaccine. I think it's under pharmaceutical and medical equipment. Okay, so one way you can go about is you can find the relevant category and you can click on it. And this will take you to the full tree. There. So this, okay, will be, let me make this a little bigger. Okay, so this, okay, will be the industrial module. Okay, this is the module that I think will be, that I'm recommending to Thammasat University because it's very, very robust. Okay, so for example, I'll take everyone through what the industrial module has. So in the industrial module, we have let me get back into it. All right, agriculture, energy, utilities and recycling, chemical products, metal products, non-metallic mineral products, rubber and plastic, textile and leather products, forestry, wood and paper, food, beverages and tobacco, pharmaceuticals and medical equipment. Now, this is the one, because there were two inquiries that came from Thammasat University. One was, the first one was asking about auto vaccines, or actually vaccines, okay? We do have it, or at least part of it, where we can look at vaccines and other immunological products, okay? And of course, moving on, you have household goods, machinery, high-tech goods, transport equipment, transport and storage, information and communications, finance and insurance, construction and real estate, business services, education, healthcare and social services, personal services, recreation, entertainment, and arts. There's even information on movie theaters, right? Under recreation, there's even sporting and recreational services where you can actually find some kind of some data on sporting and recreational services. Of course, hotel and restaurants. I'm not too sure what is in here. Yeah, hotels and camping sites, retail and wholesale. So this it's a very, like I said, it's really a very robust module that has a lot of interesting data points. But for the sake of this demo, all right, I'm sticking to vaccines, and also the second inquiry was about streaming. Okay, so how do we go about our searches? Is we, of course, will just simply type in a keyword. All right, auto vaccine wouldn't work. I tried the very first time because the email that I got was on auto vaccine, but I actually did a Google search. Auto vaccine simply actually means vaccines, and I tried the keyword of vaccine, and it worked, because if you were to type enter, there you go. You have information, right, on vaccines and other immunological products. And if you were wondering what is the exact definition of it, simply go to the right side. You don't even have to click on the help center. You see the exclamation mark over here. You simply click on it. There you go. You have the definition. Sorry. Yeah, of vaccines. All right. Under pharmaceuticals. Why does this keep happening? Let me get back into it. Yeah. Under pharmaceuticals, you have the definition of pharmaceuticals. Okay. So if I were to click on both of these, all right, and I click on next, I'll be able to look at all the data sets. Now, vaccines and other immunological, that part over there will be a little bit more specialized with the data, and I'll show why. Right. So of course we go to our geos and we can look at all the different countries. I think Thailand, South Korea, Singapore, even the Philippines, Japan and Indonesia, of course. Maybe we'll try China. Click on whatever countries that you are interested in looking up, and of course you view the results. And this we will show the hard data. Okay. Of course, like I said earlier, I touched on statistics, analysis, and dashboards. Analysis, of course, will be your reports, the pharmaceuticals in China, all the different reports. It's all over here. And of course, your dashboards will be this, where it's visually, it's a visual representation of actually where a lot of the hard data comes from, how we built the dashboards is the team, the internal team over here, the UI team over here, it all comes from the stats, obviously. Okay, so let's look at the production. So let's just view the full data set. So I'm not too sure. Japchai, do you know if the person who forwarded the email on auto vaccines is in this call? Or not? Okay, so in any case, we can look at pharmaceuticals. Okay.
Sorry, can you repeat your question again?
Yeah. So I think maybe it was around a month and a half ago. Actually, Japchai had forwarded me an email, and I think somebody from Thammasat University was asking if we had information on auto vaccines or vaccines. Right. I'm not too sure if that person is on this training call or not. All right. But there you go. All right. For for vaccines and other immunological products, the subcategory, all right, under pharmaceuticals, Thailand doesn't have, because this is very, very specific, like I said, right? We have the explanation over here, but in terms of pharmaceuticals for Thailand, we do, all right? So there is, so the query that was raised, right? The email was asking if we have information on vaccines, all right? We actually do have some have answers for it. It comes fairly close. So in this case, it shows over here that pharmaceuticals is an aggregation of active substances and basic pharmaceutical products, vitamins, herbal medicines, supplements, and tonics, anti-infectives, vaccines and other immunological products, therapeutics, hormones, as well as other pharmaceutical products. All right, so we do have relevant information over here, as you can see, right? For Thailand, you'll be able to see, all right, all the hard stats. Of course, all these stats you can bookmark it, I believe. You can create a link to be shared. Of course, you can download it. All right. And of course, you can print it. Of course, this information over here is not just relegated to 2019 to 2024, because by default, it is 2019 to 2024. But, well, 1997, let me try. Not too sure. All right. But we can also look at the forecast. There you go. So you see, We have all these. You have the production, all right, in Thai bahts of pharmaceuticals in Thailand. We can also look at exports, right? I think the query, I think part of the query that was sent through to me also talks about, I believe, the person who forwarded or who wanted to find out might be interested in this. So, for example, over here, Thailand, as you can see who Thailand or which country Thailand exports pharmaceutical products to in USD and how much. It is all available right here. Okay. So there you go. Right. Now, let me get back to the main landing page of Passport, or maybe back to the full tree. So like I said, an effective search is just simply using keywords. I will also, so another one of the queries raised from Thammasat University was on music streaming services. And this was just maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Okay. We do have information on it also. And it's also in the industrial module. Okay. So what you do is simply type in streaming Thailand, and there you go. You can already look at the market size for streaming services. You can also look at all the country reports. All right. So let's look at just a view all the reports or all the results. Because the Passport AI will populate everything together. And of course, you'll be able to see the full AI response. For now, academic accounts do not have this part over here. All right, Passport AI. You do not have it. We are working on getting our academic customers this part over here. However, what you see below over here in terms of the stats, in terms of the analysis, and of course the dashboards, you have it already. Okay, so this is all compiled by AI also. It's just that this final part over here, you still don't have it. Okay, so of course Passport AI, in terms of my query, I've put in streaming Thailand, and it has come out all right with a response. Of course, the response is actually pulled from what we have in the database. So, for example, according to Passport, all right, the streaming landscape in Thailand is experiencing significant growth and transformation. Here are some key insights. So, for example, one key insight would be the popularity of streaming services, right? Gaining traction among Thai digital shoppers, and on and on and on. All right. So, of course, a keyword search is the way to go about doing it. What I like to do is I always like to go back to the full tree. All right. So in the query that I received from Thammasat University, it's about the music streaming services. So once again, what you need to do is just in the box itself, just tap in the keyword, hit enter, and you'll be able to see what we have in terms of the keyword streaming. All right. What we're interested in over here is this part. Digital shopper. Yeah. Streaming services by e-commerce, I believe. There you go. So what we mean by streaming services e-commerce. It is the online purchase. Try again. Online purchase of streaming media services in which the video, audio, or written content is sent in compressed form over the internet and played immediately rather than being saved to a hard drive. This includes video streaming services and music and podcast streaming services, online and cloud gaming, and digital subscriptions to newspapers and magazines. And below it, you will have whatever we do our research on. So, for example, streaming services e-commerce by device and platform. Right, different devices and platforms. We have it also. So what I can do is simply I'll click on this part away and just ticks everything. And of course, we can look at the geos, the countries. And we can look at the results. So over here, you will be able to see the full data set. All right. And of course, you have your analysis, not much analysis over here. And of course, no dashboards also. All right. So we can look at the full data set. There you go. Of Thailand, or retail value in Thai baht, of all the categories that we have selected. It is all in over here. Yeah. So the two queries that came through, Passport actually does have answers to it. One of it is, especially the vaccines, is in the industrial module. Okay. In terms of our reports, I think they're pretty straightforward. Hello. Asia. And your analysis will be this. All right. I just typed in something about halal. We click on it. And there you go. These will be the reports. And of course, this will be what we call analysis or the reports. And of course, your dashboards, whereby I think dashboards, they can be pretty useful. But the one that is very, very useful are the health and nutrition surveys, where Thammasat University also has access to, I'm pretty sure, whereby we do surveys. Of course, if surveys are pretty expensive, right? And so we do carry out a lot of surveys, and it is all included in your subscription that we put out the survey results. This is really, really useful if you are able to find the relevant questions or your relevant industries that you're doing your research on. It's a bit slow, let it run. But so, for example, I believe everyone can see, right? Okay, in terms of dietary preferences, ingredient preferences, all right? We have put in surveys for many countries, including Thailand, right? On, what is your preference? It's all natural, right? Or has limited sugar or no sugar. So all our respondents have, they've come back in all the different years from 2019 all the way onwards, and you'll be able to see the results there. So for Thailand, you can see that the percentage of people who say they prefer or whatnot. So these are all there. you have all these survey questions, and it's not just this only, because you can change the topic. Yeah, from ingredients to eating habits, shopping preferences, right? To exercise and nutrition, attributes towards exercise, factors preventing exercise. It's all in here. Right. So, are there any questions from anybody?
Yeah, no question in the chat box. If anybody has any question, you can open your microphone and ask directly.
Yeah, I will try to answer them. I may not know everything. Let's just put it this way. And I have to point out to everybody on the call is that, of course, Passport is not Google. All right, Passport is has a lot of things, but it is not Google search. Any questions? Because if there aren't, I am done with this demo / training. The one thing that I really wanted to showcase and to show Thammasat University is actually the industrial module that the library is considering to invest in, because it's a very robust module, and it has a lot of actually information that could be really very beneficial for the university. Let me just take it back once again to the full tree so that everyone can see all the different data points or that the industrial module carries. So there you go, from agriculture to energy. So for example, in energy, you have extraction of crude, petroleum, natural gas, mining of coal. And of course, it still opens up. In terms of utilities and recycling, you can even find information on recycling there. So that's a lot. It's a really very robust module that the university should consider in investing in, because it's really there's a lot of data points that's very useful and beneficial, and I'm pretty sure will be very beneficial for Thammasat University. So if there are no questions, or if you're either too shy or you have some of the questions that you think of after this, please do reach out to me. My email address is this. All right, I've tapped into the chat box. So this is my email address. And any questions that you have, direct it to me. I'll try to get them answered. If not, I think this will be it. My laptop battery is almost running out. Questions? Anything that I can help Thammasat University with? Pretty quiet. Okay, so this is it. I've come to the end of this training or demo. Is there anything else that you guys would like to see or for me to add? If not, I think this will be it.
Okay, I think there's no question now.
They all left already.
Okay, alright, so uh anything else about your session?
No, I think
Okay.
everyone has left already. Chai, are you still on this call?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yes. Can we have a chat? Can I give you a call? No, wait. How do you do this? I believe there are still one or two other people. Well, they're still participants, so I don't think it is very appropriate to talk about the subscription, at least on this call. But what I did was I actually had showed the industrial module. I believe you have already received my email on giving further discounts. No issues on that. So please just let me know if Thammasat University will be willing to consider. I think it's a good investment. It's actually even lower than the 10% uplift. So I think it's quite it's a win-win for them. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let me know if there are any questions. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And sorry about the miscommunication. I always get the time zones wrong. Always, this is the second time already.
Okay, so thank you so much for today, and thank you everyone for joining us. I will end the session for today. Thank you, Kun Masete and Kun Jack also. Okay.
Thank you.
ขอบคุณ
Bye
ค่ะ
bye.
ยูบายบาย ขอบคุณครับ
ขอบคุณค่ะ
ครับขอบคุณครับคุณนุ่นด้วยแล้วก็ทางคุณชื่อ
ค่ะ ข
โอ
อบคุ
เค
ณค่ะ
ได้ครับ